Oh, hell yeah. Welcome to another episode of the podcast Stop Crying Poser, the greatest podcast in the Pacific Northwest as voted by John Goodman, John Claude Van Damme, Rob Van Dam, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? Let's shout out everyone who is here live, giving me the hells, yes, in the chat. Sam, Shredded, Scootin' Ain't a Crime, The Kingsman, Toaster Flip, Gyges, I Am JV, Austin John, TSA, who else? Dobry, Frank Calandra, Blue Raja, OG Mickey, Kingsman, Rax, Wallets in the Car, Princess Schlill, Gyges, and maybe a couple more people. Oh, Old Man Skateboards. That could have been my Xbox name. Speaking of Xbox, I'm going to tell you guys something that happened real quickly last night on the subject of pro wrestling. There were these two guys that me and Lily met at the bar. One of them was really into wrestling, and one used to be a writer for WWE. So they get to talking about wrestling, this and that. And the one guy goes, yeah, I got a picture of me and X-Pac. And he's showing us, and then he goes to the bartender, and he's like, hey, do you like wrestling? And she's like, oh, hell yeah, I like wrestling. You know, just lying, pretending that she's into something. Like, maybe she likes The Rock. Maybe she likes Stone Cold, but that doesn't mean you're into wrestling, right? So the guy pulls out a picture. He's like, here's me and he was drunk, so he forgot who it was. He's like, Triple H. I mean Triple X. like the chick's going along with it, like, yeah, Triple H. Oh, you mean Triple X, yeah. And he's like, oh, no, yeah, X-Pac. And she's like, I love Xbox. That's the second time I told that story today. It still made me laugh. I fucking love Xbox. Speaking of Xbox, maybe I'll just spend the whole time telling stories. Me and Gonzo used to have this joke we would tell at each other. He knew this kid in high school who would always try to one-up him. So he would say something like, oh, yeah, I just did a wheelie on my bike. And the kid would go, oh, man, I just did a bunny hop. And one day he was like, yeah, I just got a Mortal Kombat for PlayStation or whatever. And the kid said, I have every Xbox game. And that became... Me and Gonzo had so many little, inside jokes, but that was one of our inside jokes. Whenever we felt like someone was trying to one-up us in anything at all, we would always just look at each other and go, I have every Xbox game. So it'd be like you'd be at the bar or at a beer pong thing, and this guy would be like, yeah, dude, I've only had, 26 beers. I'm not even drunk yet. And I would look at Gonzo and be like, I have every Xbox game. And no one really understood the joke except us, but that shit was awesome. One of our other inside jokes was, it was the reason we named the first full-length skate video Neat, because whenever someone would talk to me and try to tell me something interesting, and whenever I wasn't interested at all, because back then, now I surround myself with people I want to be around all the time, but back then you'd find yourself at a house party or something where you're in high school and someone's talking to you, and on the inside, you're just like, dude, I don't want to fucking talk to you. So every time they would try to tell me something like, yeah, dude, and then I started working at Hot Dog on a Stick, and I could get you free hot dogs and shit too. And you'd just be like, oh, neat. And that was me and Gonzo's way to always let each other know when we were not enjoying the conversation. Because we would say neat as if we really cared, but it wasn't oh, cool, dude. It was always the word neat. Just meant you don't give a fuck about whatever the person's saying. And you didn't have to say it like a dick. You could just say, oh, neat. But you should already know that a word like that, the word neat, in an average everyday conversation probably is not a positive marker for the way the conversation is going. Anyways, welcome to the podcast, guys. I like the way we just did that. We started it off with two interesting, fun little stories, right? After the news, we're going to talk a little bit about Nipsey Hussle. He's dead. There was conspiracies. Now there's not. Kind of interesting. Then we're going to talk a little bit about this new scooter drama. If you guys don't know, my channel has exploded with a new scooter hate, and I am embracing it, and I'm going to turn this into a positive. Then I'll talk about a couple of movies I saw, Bonnie and Clyde, Cocaine Island, Motley Crue, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, we'll say our farewell wells. And I don't have any trivia question for today, so I have plenty of time to think of one. So first, let's go ahead and jump into the news. First article, apartment managers are using DNA testing to ID dog poop in the community. I read this because I'm curious about how much it costs to have DNA tested from a dog just to identify dog shit. I wonder because I see all these commercials about 23andMe. Oh, find out if you're 2% black. Find out what country your ancestors are from. Oh, cool, 23andMe. And you look at it and it's like $100 fucking dollars. Costs $100 to find out all that bullshit. So I'm wondering if who's going out there IDing the dog shit? Who's paying the $100 when all you really have to do is just pick it up, put it in the bag? I know the community should be doing that shit themselves, but here's how Steve, Ninja Lifestyle for President, would do it like this. There'd be one guy in the neighborhood. There's always that one guy, right? The weird neighborhood watch guy, right? The weird fucking Zimmerman of the bunch who's always going above and beyond to shit on everybody. What we would do, we'd get that guy, you know, the one weird autistic dude who's like really loves his neighborhood, and he's the guy that like bitches about his neighbors because there's weeds growing in his backyard. Yeah, that guy. We get that guy, and we say, hey, Frank. Or what, Andrew. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Frank. Frank or Andrew. You know what? He'd probably be like a Ted. Ted or a Stuart. Something, one of those bitch-ass names. Hey, Stuart. Frank. Stuart and Frank's, two of them. Fuck it. You look at him and you're like, hey, you know how you always want to make the community like amazing and shit? Like you always want to make it awesome? Oh yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. They called me the formidable Frank because I want to make this neighborhood great again. Okay, I'll go off topic. I saw a short the other day, MAGA, and it was like Mexicans always get across. I thought that shit was fucking hilarious. Anyways, back to the story. How I would solve the problem is I would grab that one autistic dude who lives in the neighborhood, and what he would do, he would pick up the shit and just take one for the team, and then at the end of like maybe 3 months, he would get his own party in his name, where you just get like a birthday cake or whatever, bring the community to like the little pool house, because all these communities that do this shit, they all have like a pool house, where there's like a couple treadmills, a big table for them to do their little fucking neighborhood meetings and shit. So you go in there, you fucking put 3 candles in this bitch, and you have a little party for Stuart, and then saves everybody money. All you gotta do is buy 1 cake, maybe some chicken wings or like a fruit platter, and just that guy will clean it up, and he'll feel like you're doing the community a favor because number 1, shit's getting picked up. Number 2, Stuart's happy. And you know what? Unhappy Stuart's always a bad situation. And number 3, dog shit's gone, Stuart's happy, everyone's great, neighborhood's clean. Now let's read the article because I just made all that up right now. I have no idea what this article's about. Some Las Vegas area apartments are now using DNA testing to charge dog owners for not cleaning up after their 4-legged companions. Who wrote this shit? 4-legged companions? Really, Chris Redfern? Bitch. Redfern? Redfern. Oh my god. He needs to be cleaning up the dog shit. At The Well Apartments in Henderson. The Well? The Well? At The Well Apartments in Henderson. It starts with a cheek swab. DNA is collected from the dog's mouth and it's sent off to a company called Poo Prints. Oh man, okay, do not check that website. Pooprints.com is something you don't want to be fucking caught looking at late at night. The DNA is then stored in their database until staff at The Well comes across dog poop. We take a sample of it, we put it into a liquid that holds the DNA so it can be tested when it gets shipped. We ship it out to Poo Prints, and then they match it to, or kind of put it against the DNA on file. Their goal is to make sure people are cleaning up after their dogs. If your pooch is found to be the culprit, The Well says they'll slap you with nearly $400 in fines and fees. When you have 369 apartments in one area, that's a lot of people. And if 30% of them have pets, that's a lot of feces. So we introduced this program kind of as a deterrent to residents, just to help keep our community clean and keep a community that people enjoy. Now, me being the intellectual of the internet, 1 billion IQ, I can see through this. There is no Poo Prints. There's nothing, okay? This is one big bluff, okay? You tell residents that they're going to search their DNA. You tell them that they're going to pay $400, and you get these fucking sheep people to believe you, And then suddenly, you clean up the neighborhood. You don't even need Frank. You don't need anybody. You don't need Stuart. All you need is the threat of $400 in fines. And then you get a community that is scared, that is pressured, that is bullied into cleaning up their own dog's mess. That is, if that's not communism, I don't know what is. The Well apartments should be ashamed of themselves. But here's the thing. There was probably a couple of people in the community who were like, you know what, dude? This could be a bluff. This could be fake. So you know what they did? They've made a fucking internet article about it to shush the skeptics. Look at me, guys. I see through the bullshit. I have X-ray vision of bullshit. In fact, I can actually look at dog shit, and it just my shit sensor goes off. Me, 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 me. I can look around and know which dog did it. So I wouldn't need poop prints anyways. The Well doesn't need poop prints because poop prints doesn't exist. They're turning the frogs gay. The fucking lizard people are coming to kill your family. And your DNA is getting taken by the NSA. And they're gonna F my L. Fuck my life. Anyways, I always clean up Koopa's dog shit. I don't think Lily does. Sometimes, every once in a blue moon, Lily will take the dog out, and I have a sneaky suspicion that she just lets him shit, and then they walk away, like, they fucking put on Bonnie and Clyde masks, or no, they put on those masks of, like, nuns, like, what is that, The Departed or whatever, or the Town, they put on the nun mask, both her and Koopa, just fucking walk away, like, it wasn't us, just looking at the one little steaming pile of shit. I always try to clean up his shit, always. One thing I would never do, though, like, what do you do when it pees? Because I always have this fantasy, right? I don't know if you guys do this. Whenever I go in almost every situation, I always sit there and I think, what's the worst possible thing that could happen? I do that all the time. I find myself just being a negative Nancy, like, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen? I need to be prepared for it. And I have this fucking fantasy that one day Koopa's gonna pee on someone's yard and someone's gonna come out and say, get your fucking dog, he's pissing on the yard. And I'm just gonna be like, yeah, it's pee. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's pee. Dogs pee. I pee in my backyard all the time. Actually, that brings me back to a story from kindergarten. I have a great story for you guys. I was in kindergarten. Okay, I used to live with my mom. We had a giant backyard. And it was not frowned upon if you're a male, you're a kid, you're a boy, exploring the backyard, big ass backyard. I'm saying like a big backyard, like maybe the size of like 2 basketball courts. Big backyard. We had dogs that would run around and shit. Really big yard. So anyways, you go out there, you're a man, okay? Pull out your dick, you pee in the backyard because the wind is going, you're a man, it's your domain. Fuck it. No one cares. No big deal. But that was back in the ghetto. I still do that shit here to this day. Whenever I'm watching a movie, I'm not gonna walk into the bathroom and close the door so I can't hear the movie. I'm gonna go right outside my back door and piss in the garden. But not on the, okay, I'm not gonna pee on like the tomato plants because we're gonna eat that. Can't be eating pee. Despite what the movie Dodgeball told you, you can't just be out there eating pee. Anyways, I got in trouble in kindergarten for peeing outside. And the teacher, oh, what a dumb fuck, came up to me and they're like, you're just gonna pee outside? You're just gonna go outside and pee? Well, would you do this at your own house? And I'm like, yep, pee at my own house. And she's just like, like, oh, so you pee at your own house. So if I call your mom right now, she's gonna say that you're allowed to pee at your own house. And I'm just like, yeah, pee at my own house. Dogs pee outside, people pee outside, big fucking deal. And she's like, you're not supposed to be doing that. I was like, you know what? I got a story for you, bitch. Yeah, and then I put my fucking feet up on the table. Good old 9-year-old Steve. No, I'm kidding. But I told her, I was like, you know what? We used to have a garden, and we grew onions. And then we stopped having a garden. Just grew out of it, whatever, no more garden. But the onions, they survived for over a year. You want to know how the onions grew? Our dog, Max, was a brindle pit bull. He went out there, and he just had a thing for pissing on onions. And he would go out there, and he'd pee on the onions all the time, and month after month, they would grow. The onions stayed alive. We didn't eat the onions because we knew they were fueled by dog piss. But what I'm saying is a little bit of pee outdoors does somebody some good, all right? Especially if you're a vegetarian or vegan, dogs pissing on onions should be a heartwarming story of a plant that almost didn't make it. All right? God damn it. What the fuck are we talking about right now? Oh, cleaning up dog shit. Anyways, clean up the dog shit. Next article. Dog owners in Las Vegas neighborhood are on edge about poisoning. Now, this actually made me really fucking angry. So what happened is maybe some kids or maybe some dudes are going around this neighborhood throwing poisoned meat into backyards with these poisonous seeds. So first off, someone's spending money on meat. Then they're spending their time to put seeds in it. And then they're spending calories to walk around the neighborhood killing innocent dogs. Meat stuffed with poisonous chemicals has been showing up at a number of homes in a Las Vegas neighborhood, killing and sickening dogs. Dog owner Sean Cornwall had his 4 dogs outside in his backyard on Thursday in the lakes. Whatever. This is a really nice neighborhood. They discovered a pack of meat stuffed with seeds. He went right past this bush and came right back behind here and pulled it out and started going to town. Chewy, the dad, Chewy is the dog. Chewy, the dad of the dogs, went to town 12 to 13 minutes before the other 2 came over. See, when they do this shit, went to town, the dad went to town. When you say the dad went to town, I'm thinking a human being is going into a populated area where people live. The dad went to town. No, motherfucker, quit. Just say the dog ate the meat. The dog ate the meat, not the dad went to town. Who fucking writes this garbage? Chewy, the dad, went to town 12 to 13 minutes before the other 2 came over. Of the 4 dogs, only 3 of them got near the meat. But by the time Sean's wife found them, about 30 minutes later, 3 of the dogs were having seizures. I'm just overwhelmed that somebody is so heartless that they want to hurt something that's so innocent. All these dogs want to do is just give somebody love. This was not the first time this had happened to the Cornwall family or to other residents in the area. His neighbor found several meat patties and meatballs stuffed with rat pellets and seeds over the course of the past 5 years. Holy fucking shit. I didn't read this part. I just saw a quick highlight of this on Facebook. Our first 2 incidents, it was hamburger patties. Hamburgers with rat pellets in it. And they came up incline here, and they made sure to walk up to where we pen our dogs and drop the burger in there. Sean Connie and a number of residents in the area do have security cameras in place. None of them have been able to catch the person responsible for the poisoned meat. Several families have filed police reports. The HOA, Nevada Community Management, said they plan on having more security canvass the surrounding streets. We put up some side gates that will prevent the dogs from going down the alley on each side of the house so that they're back 15 to 20 feet. So if someone did throw something over, maybe we would have a chance to see it first. Yeah, maybe. But if you're balling up a meatball and throwing it, I can throw a meatball 20 feet. Don't ask me how I know that, but I can. The Cornwall family set up a reward program for anyone that has information on the person responsible for this. They've also set up a GoFundMe. Now, when I watched the article version of this, the guy went into pretty scary details. He said it wasn't a painless death where the dog just sat down and slowly died. It was a painful, horrible, seizure-shaking, terrible death for a dog or a person. Not fit for a rat, even, I would say. But this makes me really scared and really angry because I've always had these weird thoughts like, man, that dog next door is really fucking annoying. Wouldn't it be cool if I just went over there and killed him? But then you think to yourself, what type of actually seriously sick individual would really go through that and then do it over 5 times, right? Plus, this is just like a crime of like just a bored kid doing some crazy shit or a really sick individual. It's not a case of like, oh, my neighbor's dog's annoying, I'm going to go over there and kill their dogs. This is just a case of, I just feel like violently killing an animal. And it makes me really fucking angry. Oh, man. What would you do? First question of the day. What would you do if you found a person in the act of feeding your dog a poisonous rat pellet? I feel like I would do my damnedest to beat this guy into within an inch of his life. You know what? It's easy to say I'd go out there and just shoot the guy, but then I don't want to go to jail, and I would most certainly go to jail. But I would beat the shit out of this guy. And if possible, if it was at all possible, maybe shove the meat into this guy's mouth if you could. And if there's a couple of teeth in the way, we got a way to get rid of those, right? You guys ever seen American History X? I got a pretty good way to get teeth out of somebody's fucking mouth, especially if they're killing my fucking dog. And I'm a new dog owner. I feel like I would have had this same opinion even before I had my precious baby Koopa. It's just a terrible fucking person. 450 Bushmaster says, I would hold the guy down and rinse his mouth out with buckshot. I don't know. It's just a really scary incident here. Really sad story, and I hope if you're out there, you fucking get hit by a car and you break every bone in your fucking body and you just die there. And then you have a seizure. Painful seizure where you choke on your own tongue. You piece of shit. Okay, speaking of pieces of shit, woman who fell from the circus roller coaster was a double amputee. Now, they shut down this roller coaster at this popular place. Circus is a big hotel casino, but it also has this thing called the Adventuredome. It's a huge dome made out of glass, like bright red glass, big dome, like a stadium of some sort. And inside it has all these fun games, little circus games. You throw the ball into the hole, you get a fucking stuffed bear or something. You have a ride where you go down this thing and you land in the water and the water squirts on you. You have a couple roller coasters. One goes upside down. Woo! Great place. Actually, I almost died in the Adventuredome when I was I'd say about 15. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I would have gotten extremely mangled. And I'll tell you what happened. I was looking at this line. There was a line right there to go on the roller coaster. I'm like, oh, fuck, I want to go to that line. And then I saw this big group of people walking to it. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to get there first. And I saw this hubba, right? This little wall, about 4 feet tall, just a little wall that blocks people out. So I see the wall, and I run up. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to jump this wall. I'm not going to go over there. I want to get in front of this big crowd. I don't want to wait in line behind this crowd. So I run, I jump, I leap over this wall, and then over the wall, I couldn't see what was on the other side of it. It was actually a little vantage point so you could look at the roller coaster below you, hurtling by. So it's like maybe a 20-foot drop directly onto this rail where you would land and then get run over by a roller coaster. So I run over it, I jump over it, boom, I'm hanging like by my armpit. Like, think about it like this, my armpit and my forearm is holding me on. So I'm looking down like, holy shit. And then some lady standing in line screams, ah! And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm about to die. So I scurried back up. It was like the ultimate parkour move. I was hanging for a second, scurried back up, got back on side, and then I just walked away because I was like, fuck, I'm gonna get kicked out. I walked away, and some old man's like, you know, you could have got really hurt right there. And I'm like, all right, bye, and walk away. It's because it's gonna be hard for me to explain this, but the hubba, it was like a little walkway, and that was just a little vantage point. So I could have taken the path, which at this point I realized the path was actually a bridge. It was the bridge. So I jumped over. I'm hanging. Oh, it was great. I'll try to draw you guys a picture of it. After the podcast, I'll draw you guys a picture of exactly how it was. It's a great story. Another excellent story about this place, the Circus Adventuredome. I went with my friend JoJo, and I think it was this chick's birthday, Lacey. I don't remember whose birthday it was. It was somebody's birthday, and I showed up, and I was broke. So I showed up just to hang out, and they're in line, like, getting, like, rides and shit. And I'm like, nah, I can't spend no money. And JoJo's like, you know what, dude? I'll fucking buy your ticket. It's like $20. He bought my ticket. It was really nice. Nicest thing he's ever done for me. Except he also one time drove me to LA at, like, 90 miles per hour. And we watched a UFC. I think we watched Brock Lesnar versus Shane Carwin. Anyways. Fucking what? Why am I talking about this? It doesn't fucking matter. Whatever the UFC was, it was at Staples Center. We're going to change the topic completely. No, I'm kidding. So, it's me and JoJo. We're there. We get on this roller coaster. It's 2 seats. 1 seat, 2 seat. We're going. I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. We're sitting there. Everything's going great. I'm strapped in. Brrr, straps me in. I'm good to go. There's no possible way I could fly out of this thing. Good. We're going. We're fucking whooshing, we're washing, we're zigging, zagging, going upside down. And then I feel my fucking cell phone come out of my pocket. Boom. Hits the seat behind me. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, JoJo, my fucking cell phone fell out. And he's like, oh, no. So I'm like, I'm holding it like behind my back, like against the wall. Like, okay, I got it. And then it slips around. It slips over here. I'm like, oh, I got it right here. And then it slips back over here. It's slipping all over the place. And I'm like, oh, I'm looking over at Jojo. I'm like, my fucking phone is gone, dude. It just flew off this shit. And he's like, no, I think I got it. It's behind his back now. The fucking cell phone flew from behind my back across the little channel into the other seat while we're fucking upside down, mind you. Upside down, zipping, zopping, fucking 40 miles per hour, whatever, however speed that shit goes. It's bouncing all around. I'm like, dude, cell phone's gone. This was a long time ago, too. I had a flip phone, so it probably wouldn't have been that big of a loss, but I would have been really hurt. And he's like, I got it. And then he finishes the rest of the ride with his hands behind his back, and we finally get to the end of the ride, and he's like, here you go. And I'm like, oh, dude, no fucking way. What a lifesaver. So, yeah, that's my story about this place, the Adventuredome. We got to go back one day. I'm going to take Lily one of these days. Fun time in there. Anyways. So, a woman who fell from the El Loco roller coaster at Circus on March 25th was a double amputee. Now, this is big news because everyone read the article and thought that someone, just a normal person, died on a roller coaster that was unsafe. I'm going to skip to the chat real quick. Frank Calandra says, last time I was on a roller coaster, the bar that holds you in broke. My glasses fell onto the floor, so my reflex was, oh shit, I can't let them fly out. And my dumbass puts the foot down on them really hard and just smashed them. Great. Great story, Frank. You piece of shit. I think I've done something like that before. I think whenever something's like flying away from you, your main response is like grab it. You know what I mean? Have you guys ever done that with an egg? Like, oh fuck, the egg's gonna fall off the table. Snap! Crash! Break! Not the other day, but not long ago at all, I had this streak of like every week I'd put an egg on the table and it would roll away off the table. And I remember one day I was at the fridge and I saw it and I did this fucking Marc-Andre Fleury NHL goalie sprawl where I did the splits, pulled my groin and fucking reached with 1 foot over to catch the egg. But then I realized, oh, it's a foot. It's not a fucking pillow. And the egg just smashes on my foot. So I just lay there in pain. 3 torn ACL, egg on my foot, bullshitting around. For this, Karen, for this. Jesus Christ. Oh man, anyways. This was going to be a really shitty podcast, and we have really brought this thing back to life. So I appreciate everyone for being here. 10 out of 10 podcasts so far, and we're only halfway done. So let's continue the fucking story. Everyone's flaming Frank in the comments now. Okay, according to a Clark County inspection report of the roller coaster, the county was notified that the woman was a double amputee almost an hour after the initial incident was reported. A woman approximately 25 to 30 years old was ejected from her seat on the ride between 2:29 p.m. and 2:35 p.m. March 25th. The El Loco coaster was closed March 26th. I don't think I've ever been on this one. I think this is a new roller coaster, which is why when I read this article, I was like, oh, fuck, dude. Good thing I haven't been there lately. Dude, I'm terrified of roller coasters breaking. Because every year or two, you see some fucking Facebook cell phone, usually vertical filmed, footage of some fucking bullshit circus thing collapsing with people just dying, splattering all over the place. Plus, it doesn't make me feel happy that they build and debuild. Build and debuild. They create and desecrate these things in like, what, 24 hours? Like, hey, see that parking lot over there? In about 16 hours, there's going to be a 5,000-ton roller coaster there, capable of killing every person on it. Oh, cool. You're going to build that in 18 hours? I don't know. The guys building it are all on meth, so just depends on how they're feeling. Oh, okay, cool. I'll pay $5 to get killed. Wouldn't mind that at all. Sounds like a great Sunday. All the fucking rides, everything's in Spanish. Oh man! In an incident report dated March 29th, the Clark County Department of Building and Fire Prevention said the ride was examined by officials March 29th. The department asked Adventuredome, told you guys I knew what this shit was, to provide 4 items to continue the investigation. It was still unclear what condition the woman was in after the fall. Well, I'll tell you this, she probably couldn't walk. We are incredibly saddened that one of our Adventuredome guests was injured, and our hearts go out to the guests and her family. Safety is our top priority, and the ride in question is closed until further notice, as this incident is investigated. Here's the thing. Those rides always say you must be this tall, but you know what they leave out? They don't tell you how many arms you need. So I'm just here saying that we need to really change the way we look at roller coasters, change the guidelines under which we require people to ride, and just say, hey, listen, 2 arms required. 1 arm is up to the carney's jurisdiction. It's up to him, whatever he decides. But if you got no arms, there's no shoes, no shirt, no arms, no service. That's how they do it. God damn it. So yeah, I'm scared of roller coasters like that. I'm gonna draw you guys a picture in Microsoft Paint of what the fuck I held on to so that you guys can understand how close I was to death. All right, so stay tuned if you guys are watching this live. Now, school districts turns unused cafeteria food into frozen take-home meals for kids. Now, this seems so fucking obvious, and when I saw this headline, I thought to myself, how in the shit have we not been doing this forever? Or have we? I don't know. Also, this is disgusting looking. What is this? Tater tots? God knows what this is. Maybe tomato strips? Or carrots, maybe? And then a bun? With no meat on it? Just a bun? What do we got over here? Stuffing, rice, and fucking mixed greens and corn. These are school children, not Holocaust survivors. What happened to the good old, where's the mac and cheese? Maybe a pizza wrapped up. Or anything other than this. Yeah, chicken fingers or something. A school district in Indiana. Oh, there it is, Indiana. There we go. Bunch of fucking vegan. You know what? I've said too much. A school district in Indiana is working to provide take-home meals for students in need to ensure they have enough food to eat over the weekends. Okay. Had a really hard time reading that. Elkhart Community Schools teamed up with a nonprofit called Cultivate to create a pilot program that will provide... Oh, shit. I'm going to do this right now. Listen. To create a pilot program that will provide weekend meals for a group of small children at Woodland Elementary. WSBT reported. The district's goal is to expand the program to feed more students in neighboring schools. That's awesome. As part of the pilot program, 20 kids will receive a backpack with 8 individual frozen meals every Friday until the end of the school year. That's good, but what they should do is do this secretively, right? Because you don't want to be the kid that's getting the free food at the end of school, because then you're just going to be that broke kid. Right? I got the ice cream. I got the ice cream. You cannot have some. You cannot have some. He's on the welfare. He gets the free lunch at the end of school on Friday because his parents are alcoholics. It's an Eddie Murphy joke. If no one's familiar with that joke, you need to immediately kill yourself. Over-preparing is just part of what happens, said Cultivate. Spokesperson, I can't talk, god damn it. Over-preparing is just part of what happens, said Cultivate spokesperson Jim Conklin. We take well-prepared food, combine it with other food, and make individual frozen meals out of it. Okay, good. I'm proud of that. It was heartbreaking to hear that children go home on the weekends and that they don't have anything to eat. Well, now they do. They're making a big impact. And I don't think this is a big, bold statement, but I think they should do this everywhere. Right? If you have all this extra food, Cassidy, who's currently not in our chat, she works as a lunch lady in Lunch Ladyland. Sloppy Joe. Imagine if all the food that they probably throw away could be made into frozen meals. If not for broke kids, then fuck it, for homeless people. Right? Homeless people can find a microwave. Right? I watched a tweaker build an airplane out of spit and fucking paper towels and one clothes hanger. So I'm sure that homeless people can find a microwave. So we could do anything with this, right? It's great. It's a great fucking thing. This makes me feel happy. As long as we don't put rat pellets in the food, I'm good. Then again, you know what I like more than kids? Dogs. You know what I don't like that much? Kids. Anyways, speaking of kids, terminally ill boy exposed to measles by unvaccinated child at California hospital. Now, we're going to make this quick because we just talked about this I think if not last week, then the previous week. These anti-vaccine people are fucking scary because they could be the reason other people get fucked. And it's kind of like telling somebody like, yeah, dude, what's that white thing in the sky? That's a cloud. That's just what they want you to think. Nah, it's a cloud, man. I've been in an airplane. I've been next to the cloud. I've seen the clouds up close. I read a book about cumulonimbus. I know about the clouds. Nope! That's just conspiracy that NASA wants to tell you about the clouds. Okay, like, do you have any evidence? Oh, evidence, right. Yeah, like I need evidence to prove anything I say. Idiot. Guy thinks clouds are in the sky. Stupid. Not the best example, but it's kind of like this shit. You say, hey, these vaccines can really help your kid. Oh, yeah, help them. Help them get autism and AIDS and die. You know, like that was based on some pseudoscience that was later disproven by every single person that ever co-signed it, right? You know that, right, ma'am? Oh, of course they changed their mind because Big Pharma's paying everyone to give our kids measles. What? Make our kids autistic? What? Ma'am? Are you fucking retarded? Oh, I'm stupid? You're the sheep who just believes everything science tells you. So anyways, a California mother claims her 7-year-old son, who is terminally ill, was exposed to measles at a hospital due to what she calls an irresponsible decision not to vaccinate a child. Reina Souza says her son Jackson was diagnosed with tuberous sclerosis at 4 months old, which caused more than 100 tumors, both big and small, to grow in his brain. Oh my God, that's gotta be the scariest thing ever. It's terminal, and he will succumb to his disease at some point. Can you give this kid a break? Can this kid not just have 100 tumors in his brain without you bringing your sick, unvaccinated, retarded fucking kid around? Please? Can the kid die in peace? On March 17th, Souza took her son to UC Davis Medical Center after he began having seizures. Days later, the mom said doctors told her Jackson had been exposed to the viral infection during his stay. Wait a minute. Isn't he vaccinated? Maybe I don't understand vaccinations, right? If he's vaccinated and an unvaccinated kid put it in contact with him, I thought he's vaccinated. It don't fucking matter. I'm vaccinated, bitch. I'm fucking Rick James. Doctors reportedly told her the source of the infection was an unvaccinated girl who caught the measles while overseas. Dr. Dean Bloomberg, chief of pediatric infectious diseases at UC Davis Health, said Jackson and the girl were treated in the same emergency department room. It was less than an hour of separation between them, so there was potentially still measles virus in the air. This shit's just floating around in the air. I thought you had to cough on somebody or bleed on somebody. Dude, you know what? Back in the day, I watched this fucking instructional thing on fucking AIDS. It told me that if a person with AIDS cut his arm and bled all over you, you'd probably like still almost never be able to get AIDS. I just thought of that right now. Measles is out here just traveling through the air like fucking Nemo on the back of that turtle in the middle of the sea, yet you can barely get AIDS? What a time to be alive. When Jackson was put in the room, Bloomberg said it was not yet known the girl had measles. He said it's hard for most doctors to identify the disease because it's so rare. It apparently took days for doctors to confirm the young girl's diagnosis. So anyways, long story short, people making irresponsible, learn how to read, you fucking idiot. People making irresponsible decisions for their family and their child need to really look and see how that could affect other people. Because I could still lose my son. Yeah, you're going to lose your son no matter what. But let him die on his own terms, right? This guy is totally ready and willing to die off of the tumors. And now we got his own fucking measles in his plate. Really? Kicking a kid when he's down? Could you imagine? That's like, hey, this kid has fucking cancer. Let's give him some AIDS while we're at it. Fuck him up even more. Can you imagine the AIDS fucking vaccination? Coming soon to a Walmart near you. Anyways, that's all we have for the news. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Give me a hell yeah if we really milked that news section. We made that our bitch. Great fucking podcast. Great section of news. Let's go ahead and get into Nipsey Hussle. Was killed. Crenshaw, great rapper. Everyone loved him. a pillar in his community, making everyone happy. A lot of my friends on Facebook are extremely sad about Nipsey's untimely death. But here's the thing, and I don't want to disrespect the dead at all, but I'm going to say what everyone else is thinking. I saw all these fucking conspiracies about Nipsey Hussle was coming out with a documentary so that he could cure cancer, I believe it was, and everyone said that's why he was killed. It was a government cover-up, government killing. One person went so far as to say, yeah, they shot him 5 times in the chest and 1 in the head. That's how you know it was the government. People will fucking believe anything. My thing is, oh, this like really prominent gang member, like in the middle of Crenshaw where people die all the fucking time, gets killed, and suddenly we have to blame the government? Like it's the, like... Like, what? How much more backwards could it be? People get killed. Every person that gets killed, even if they're famous, it's not always some big conspiracy, right? Didn't Selena just get killed by, like, a random fan? Where was her bullshit conspiracy theory? I think it's disrespectful, actually, to make up shit like that. And I don't know if this is true, but the news articles that I've read recently said that it was one of his close friends that killed him. They're looking for him right now. I think his name is Eric Holder or something like that. So then, all the conspiracy guys, they get real fucking quiet, like, oh shit, didn't know about that, whatever. So here's my thing. Every time you make up a dumb fucking conspiracy thing, you should have to answer to that later. And when October 1 happened here in Las Vegas, where 58 people were killed, there was tons and tons and tons of conspiracies, all right? My friend Ed and Gloria, Ed the vet, you guys used to see him a lot in my old videos. He was in one of the Cooking with Ninjas, where I think we made chili dogs. Their, like, son-in-law was murdered, and her son-in-law or her daughter-in-law and her husband were both killed. They were both killed at the fucking Route 91 thing. And there's just people like, yeah, fake news. There was 3 shooters. There was a helicopter that was shooting. You can see the flashes. You can hear 2 distinct gunfires. And also, they didn't tell you there was other shootings at other casinos that no one told you about. And I'm just like, dude, this is like the most fucking populated area in the entire city, okay? If there was a bunch of bullshit going on, somebody would have it on film. Yet there's nothing on film. And then there was this one thing where there was like a flashing light, a strobe light in one of the lower portion of the casino. And that's where they said, two shooters, you can see the muzzle flash. I just spit on my printer right here. So they're like, oh yeah, there's 2 shooters for sure. And then it came out, there's like videos from weeks before. It's just a room that has a fucking strobe light. Big fucking deal. Also, the thing about guns, okay, here's the thing I hated about the Route 91 thing. It was a bunch of fucking people who had never seen or shot a gun who immediately became fucking gun experts. Oh, I hated that. It made me so fucking angry. I have every Xbox game. Anyways, what I was getting at is that the conspiracy people, here's the thing. If the news makes one small fuck up in like one little detail, the conspiracy people go, oh, it's a fucking cover up. We caught you lying. We caught you lying. You fucked up. We got you. It's proof. You said the wrong date. That's how we know it was planned attack. And in reality, it's like, oh, the news person just fucking fumbled their words on accident. So here's the thing. Every time one of these conspiracy people fumbles their words or gets proven wrong, they never have to answer for it. And that's what makes me angry about the whole situation. No one ever fucking holds their fucking words to a microscope the way they would for some other bullshit. It really makes me angry. And now all these Nipsey Hussle conspiracy people, they're all quiet. They all went back, deleted their comments, and they're just going to pretend it never happened because some known gang member who's very successful, a lot of people are jealous of successful people. Crenshaw, pretty famous for being not a very nice place. A lot of gun violence happening over there. And what a coincidence, successful man gets killed, right? Why didn't that shit happen when Extentacion got killed, right? Why wasn't that a fucking conspiracy? Oh, because they stole his chains. Oh, like what the fuck? You sure it wasn't a government hit? Because Extentacion was about to cure cancer? Get the fuck out of here. I hate you people. In other news, the scooter controversy has exploded this past week because a handful of scooter riders have made videos about me. One's actually called We Need to Stop Ninja Lifestyle. And I wanted to explain to you guys the difference. Just really quickly, really briefly. I don't want to spend too much time on this topic. The difference between skaters and scooters, and also the difference between me and scooter riders. I've said this before. I had a video back in the day called Skateboarders Are Gay. You know what skateboarders did? They laughed and went on with their day. Then I made a video where I learned how to tail whip, poking fun at scooter riders, and they lost their fucking shit. Video is now sitting at over 1 million views. They don't have the free will to stop watching me. So even when I explain my weakness, right? Imagine if all the time Superman was just like, yeah, kryptonite would fuck me up. Anyone could kill me with kryptonite, and then everyone would know his weakness. Everyone knows my weakness. All you have to do is ignore me. I won't get any views, and I won't get paid. The cool thing about me, though, is I'm their god, right? I control if they are allowed or not allowed to have free will. Okay, they're like heroin addicts, and they need their fix of ninja lifestyle. They cannot stop watching my videos, and I feel like that's the difference. I get tagged in scooter videos all day, every day, especially the ones that I'm in. You know what I mean? The ones where they're talking about me. And I never watched, I couldn't get through one. I tried to watch one time. I don't watch them. And that's not me trying to be a cool guy, like, yeah, I'm too cool to watch them. I just don't think scooter riding videos or videos of some scooter rider talking about me, I don't think they're interesting. I don't think they're exciting. I don't think they have any entertainment value. So I just use my free will and I choose not to watch. That's the difference. Also, if you guys haven't seen this video, go back and find it. Maybe one of the mods can link it. There's a video where a scooter rider wanted to fight me. A real-life scooter rider who was like a rapper wanted to fight me. He went by the name Erndo AZ. That was his rap name. And he was coming to Las Vegas. And I was going to set up a pay-per-view event. A YouTube pay-per-view event where you were going to watch me have an MMA fight with a scooter rider. A real-life thing. Well, if you guys haven't seen the video, there's a whole video about it. It includes all the screenshots. And I don't feel like anyone who I've ever sort of defended myself against, I don't feel like anyone has ever been personally as destroyed as that kid did. Changed all his information, changed his Instagram, changed everything. And when we actually had the opportunity to fight, he was just fucking stone cold scared. What? Completely fucking scared. And I told him the first response I had is, I want you to know, like before all the arguing, before all the DMs, the first response was, I want you to know, whatever you're about to do, if this is going to get popular, you're going to represent all of scooter riders, all right? It's up to you. And in the end, he bitched out like a bitch. And somewhere we'll find that video. But I got some interesting news today in my DMs. That whole controversy was what, maybe 2 years ago? Well, guess who just now learned how to backflip? That's right. Erndo AZ just now learned how to backflip. After all these years. Jesus fucking Christ. Are you kidding me? Skateboarder learns backflip in what, 7 minutes? Scooter rider, even under pressure from his peers, takes years. 6 minutes, 2 years. That's the difference. Right there, boys. I thought that would be an interesting thing to bring up. So, that's the scooter drama. There's going to be a lot more to come, and a lot of you guys were big fans of my old series, Angry Scooter Comments, which was actually shut down from scooter riders because they claimed I was bullying. I was bullying them. The series was literally me reading. This is funny. It was me reading people being mean to me. I read comments where people were harassing me, and that hurt scooter riders' feelings so hard that somehow me laughing at mean comments is now bullying. I'm not allowed to laugh anymore. But if you guys liked that series, it's now on Instagram. All you have to do is check my Instagram story every single day. You guys don't have to wait every week. The old series, it took every week. Now, every single day, multiple misspelled scooter comments where we just sit there, stare at them, and laugh. So if you didn't know about that, now you know. We're going to wrap up here in a couple minutes, but I wanted to give you guys some cool movie ideas. There's a new movie out on Netflix about Bonnie and Clyde. I think it's called like Watchmen or Watch Person or something like that. I wouldn't watch it. I don't think it's that interesting. It's kind of boring. The reviews, I should have never watched the reviews because they might have changed me a little bit. I read the reviews. Some people said it was great. Some people said it was terrible. But this movie about Bonnie and Clyde, I would say probably don't watch it. It's really slow and it's really lackluster of an ending. What I absolutely, definitely recommend you guys see is a movie on Netflix called Cocaine Island. I'm going to try to sum it up for you. This old man finds like I don't know what it was, 30 kilos of cocaine buried in Puerto Rico or something. And it's fucking hilarious because he doesn't know anything about drugs, but he's trying to sell these drugs. And it's a documentary, but the characters play themselves in a lot of it. So he's playing himself in a documentary about him, and it's fucking hilarious. And there's his teammate, like his partner, his sidekick is like this super fucking cracked out, like perma-fried guy who shows up to his documentary interview just fucking high as shit. Just like, dude, yeah, and then we went over here, man, and fucking got crazy. He's like wiggling in his seat. He's all just fucking tripping out. And it's just a great documentary. I very much recommend you guys see a movie called Cocaine Island documentary, whatever. Also, I watched the Motley Crue movie. I think it's called The Dirt. Got off to kind of a slow start. Didn't think it was that good of a movie at the beginning. And then it really got going and it became a really pretty hilarious movie. And I guess a lot of the most unbelievable things in that movie were actually true. And here's the thing. I thought I was a Motley Crue fan because I like 3 of their songs. Turns out I didn't know shit about Motley Crue, and maybe you didn't know shit either, so definitely go check that out. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's podcast. I will continue to be online for the post show, so if you're watching live, do not go anywhere. If you're not following me on Instagram, at Black Ninja LV, the LV stands for Las Vegas, go ahead, everybody in the chat, and give me oh, hell yeah. And for today's trivia question, if you want a chance to win a free Ninja Lifestyle sticker pack shipped directly to your house, if you live in the United States of America, all you have to do is tell me 2 members of Motley Crue while I shout out everybody in the chat. Scootin' A to Crime, Lyocell, Sam Shreddits, Hammy of Doom, Zol, Mr. Dobry, TSA Skater, OG Mickey, Scootin' A to Crime, Frank, Toaster, Hammy of Doom, Nate F. Oh, speaking of that, Big Dick Johnson and Fat Boy Jenkins, that is incorrect, but Nate F. Find me either on Discord or on Instagram or on Facebook to claim your prize. You are the winner of a brand new Ninja Lifestyle sticker pack. I greatly appreciate everybody for being here. If you want to see this podcast become more successful, please tell a friend about the podcast. The only way we can grow is from you guys. I'm going to keep doing my part, making you guys laugh, tell these funny stories, read the news, crack some jokes here and there. And I need you guys to, take care of your part. Share the podcast with a friend. Maybe next time we're live, post it on Facebook. Say, this guy's really funny. Watch this live. Do whatever you guys can do to help me grow. And I'll continue doing my part to help you guys laugh on a day when you may be feeling blue. If you showed up late today, don't worry, you will be able to catch the podcast on Sunday morning on both iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, and a couple of other free podcast services, so definitely check that out. It's great for a long trip, maybe on your way to work, or if you work in a warehouse, throw in an earbud, listen to the podcast, Stop Crying Poser. I can't say enough how much I appreciate you guys being here, watching this live. If you're not watching it live, watch it live every Friday, right around 4:00 p.m. Pacific time. So that's going to be it, guys. Let's go ahead and play that goddamn intro/outro. And I would say this was a 10 out of 10 episode, especially considering I wasn't fucking prepared at all. God damn it. Have a beautiful weekend, a beautiful night. Drink a little bit of beer, but don't drink too much, god damn it. Excuse me, ma'am, you're gonna need 2 arms to get on this ride. 2 arms. Nope, 1 arm, not enough. 2 arms. You need 2 arms, you fucking chicken nugget bitch.